Thank you. Yeah, please. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank Nifs for having me here. This diploma is wonderful. Hello, good morning, everybody. So my name is Abiola Denuga. I'm the Managing Director and Registrar of PEFT Film Institute. We're a high institute of learning accredited by the Ministry of Education. And we offer national diploma in a couple of programs which we're going to see in the slides, which will come on now. So I'd like to congratulate Nifs for another successful year. I'd like to appreciate her on behalf of the movie industry, especially the student filmmakers, for what she does every year, bringing us together, bringing the experts, bringing the students, and giving us opportunity to learn and network with each other. So I'm waiting for my slides. I have about 10 minutes, and I intend to keep within my time. But while I wait for them to come up, I would like to introduce myself. Like I said earlier, I'm Abiola Denuga. I'm the Managing Director and Registrar of PEFT. PEFT offers two types of programs. We have our national diploma programs, currently accredited to offer 7 higher educational programs in Nigeria. And that means students coming through JAMB, graduate with a diploma, and continue in their career progression towards HNDs, BScs, eventually youth service. So it's a big deal. Our students currently offer national diplomas in film and television production, performing and media arts, mass communication, multimedia technology, fashion design and clothing technology, business administration and management, music technology, so performing and media arts. All this is in the slide. I just, we do this, right? Okay, so PEFT has graduated a great host of award-winning filmmakers, musicians, performing artists, some of whom are, like I said, listed in this amazing presentation we are all waiting for. So, okay. Are we ready? Slides, please. Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to the presentation of PEFT. PEFT was established in the year 2004 by Wale Adenuga Productions, ably represented here by our chairman, Mr. Wale Adenuga. And next slide, please. Okay. We have in slides we're about to see a list of some of our alumni who are doing very well in various parts of the entertainment industry. These include, but are not limited to, T.J. Omori, the famous music video director, Mr. Macaroni, quite a number of them, Doris Simeon, Mokmadu, Bera Makwizu, Skido. We all know Skido from Joy is Coming. Quite a number of them. Mr. Tunde Olaoye, the director of Everybody Loves Jennifer. Quite a large number, like I said in the slides. Next slide, please. Okay, so while I'm here, PEFT goes beyond training. PEFT does productions, so our students have short films. Beautiful. So we have some of our alumni here. Debo Adebayo, Mr. Macaroni. Next slide, please. We all know him. He's a content creator. He's an activist. Winner of many awards, some of which are listed here on the slide. Next slide, please. T.J. Omori, music video director to the stars. He's worked with a large range of musicians. Tunde Olaoye, director of Singleness is Bliss, Everybody Loves Jennifer, Married But Living Single, Olola Ginju, winner director of the year 2012. Ebere Makwizu, we all know her as Bera Makwizu, award-winning actress, brilliant artist. Awosika Josiah, Joy is Coming. Adeoluwa Owu, amazing cinematographer, award-winning. Mokmadu, famous actor. A lot of us watch his films, brilliant actor. Next, Rotimi Salami. He's doing very well both in English-speaking and Yoruba-speaking parts of the movie industry. Kelechi Udegbe, amazing actor, content creator, filmmaker. PEFT has 2 branches, in Lagos and in Ibadan. Next, please. At PEFT, we do 70% practical content, which means that students, our training is project-oriented. So what that means is not just coming to get the pali in either of the ND programs that you pick: film, mass communications, performing and media arts, multimedia technology, fashion design, music, business administration. So what happens is when students come, they learn through projects. So it's not just coming to learn in the classroom. You must complete a project, and I don't mean written projects. We have the theoretical foundation classes where you learn, of course, all these things, but more importantly, every student is part of several productions, and every student must come out with their own productions, their own. For the business people, you have business projects. The idea is you come, you learn, you do, you network, you cooperate, and you come out as a productive member of society, regardless of the course that you study. Next slide, please. So PEFT has won several awards. The thing about it is that for 2016, we won at the Green Me Global Film Festival, where a lot of film schools in Nigeria were brought together. Green Me Global Film Festival is an international film festival. For that year, they were in Nigeria. And a couple of film schools came together, and PEFT won. JAM, like I said, our students who come in for ND coming through JAM. We've been the best. They should cover this check now before these tax people come. So we've been the best Innovation Enterprise Institute for 2 years running now. 2023 and 24 academic session, and 2024 and 25 academic sessions. So PEFT has won a couple of awards. PEFT is affiliated to Wale Adenuga Productions. That's actually a company that established us, but PEFT now stands on its own. And then WAP TV, cable TV station, showing on quite a number of platforms. We've had a lot of partnerships and collaborations with the American Film Showcase, Sony Film Cameras, Goethe Institute, Canon, the Embassy of France, Nikon, Nouvelle Films. We recently shot a music video for IOMAF this year, 2025, with Nouvelle Films. We run professional programs as well in acting, cinematography, digital photography, editing, hair tie and makeup, producing and production management, script writing, directing, music studio production, music. The interesting thing about our training is we, aside from this, which is that we offer annual scholarships. PEFT understands that, look, we're in this Nigeria together, and we have to do it together. Like the filmmakers said earlier, we all win when we win together. So every year we award academic scholarships. Last year we gave 20 full academic scholarships. And anyone who comes with any form of a challenge, like physical, intellectual, we have a running scholarship for them outside our academic scholarships. And I'm standing here, thank you for the opportunity to give this, but I would like to say this for those who run schools, and this goes beyond even film, because it's something that hurts my heart. The truth about academic scholarships is this. Let's say this is a class. A school has 20 classrooms, and in each classroom there are 40 chairs. So here's the deal. Whether you have 2 students on scholarship, 3 on scholarship, you're not paying extra to the lecturers. You are not renting a bigger classroom. So if it's possible, I will encourage those of us that run schools, because guess what? We are doing this thing together. You can have 1 chair permanently on scholarship. It will not cost, yes, there's the opportunity cost of the school fees you could have made on that. But the truth is, these scholarships, they go a long way. We have so many, this is 21 years of awarding scholarships, so many people whose lives have been changed, and it really does not come at an actual extra cost. So if you have any opportunity, whether it be internship, whether it be scholarships, let's do this thing together. But anyway, for PEFT, what I would just like to say in rounding up is, in PEFT, they come, they get the foundation, and then they do the practicals, and then they do the productions, and then they do the presentations. So we have annual festivals, film festivals, music festivals. We have annual theater day, where the students get to come out and present what they've learned before wide ranges of audiences. And I'll be glad to invite NIFS through Madam Ijoma and any of the companies here to come and watch these students do what they have learned, what they know, and what they're going to use to change the world. Once again, my name is Abiola, and I'm the Abiola Denuga, and I'm the registrar of PEFT Film Institute. It's such an honor and a privilege to stand here before NIFS to present PEFT, the #1 film school, and other trainings in Nigeria. Thank you.
I have the very veteran Mr. Michael Adeniga here, Adeniga here. And the conversation is a very important one because we're getting a rare insight into the mind of this media icon. He's also the chairman of the Wale Adeniga production, and he's a producer of the Nigeria's longest running TV series, Super Story, which a lot of us, of course, know, that has made a lot of actors. Most of the actors we know actually started from Super Story, and now they're big in cinemas, big on YouTube, and actually also producers themselves. Super Story has been on for 25 years, interestingly. And then can we please welcome the chairman himself, and he's going to be talking to us about his journey and the longevity in the business. Please welcome Mr. Wale Adenuga and the moderator, Ijoma Ona, Nifs founder. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Wale Adenuga, MFR. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Just in case you think it's easy to get him here, it's been approximately 15 years of me walking into his office in Ajao Estate. I was working at the time for the biggest TV content market in Africa called Discope Africa. And my job was essentially to, get producers out of Nigeria to different countries where they can go sell their content. And it's been a journey knowing him. And in fact, I'm literally like part of the family as a result. And I want to thank you so much, sir, for, accepting the things that we do and supporting the things that we do. I'm so grateful that you can come to talk, because this is somebody how many of you have ever seen him before now? 1, 2, 3. This room, we have approximately 150 people. And these are the people who kind of laid the foundation for what is happening. To have a show on television for 25 years. Yeah. 25 years. And so we're going to just start up. He wants it to be very, very interactive, so I'm not going to do a lot of talking. But I just want him to help us understand how he started off to get to where he is today in the industry. There are a lot of young people that are here. I see a lot of Wale Adenuga MFRs in this congregation this morning. Yes, you may not look like it, But realistically, if you take your trajectory seriously, I believe that you are going to also have a story to tell. So yes, once again, sir, it's such a pleasure to have you here this morning. And I just want you to tell us a bit about your journey and how you have been able to successfully navigate this industry to build what I consider one of the biggest, if not the biggest, media empires in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Well, how did this start? I was born some 77 years ago in Oyo State. I did my secondary school at Ibadan. Went to Lagos for my HSC. From there, I entered University of Lagos in 71 for my BSc Business Administration. 76, I entered the publishing industry with the publication of two popular magazines, Ikebe Super and Super Story. So these two brands first started as magazines. And Ikebe Super made the debut into the market in 1976. Super Story joined later in 1978. I want to show you what the magazines look like. The Super Story magazine. This one was published in 1985. And the selling price then was 1 naira.
Can you give us an idea of how many copies that you were selling?
I'll soon come to that. Ikebe Super, this Ikebe Super magazine. This one was published in 1985. And the price was 1 naira. As a matter of fact, when we started in 1976, the price was 50 kobo. And this 1 naira you are seeing here today was big money then. Because in 1985, I bought a Mercedes-Benz car for 8,000 naira. A brand new Mercedes-Benz car. And the magazines started in a very humble, we had a humble beginning. By 5 years of publishing, we have attained 500,000 copies at a go for each of the titles. And in that same year, 1985, I remember taking 10,000 naira to Volkswagen of Nigeria. I bought 3 cars and got some change from 10,000 naira. That's the truth. A big, what we call municipal bus, that big bus was then 18,000 naira. Until the military came, got our naira devalued, and everything tumbled over. Now, through this magazine, some characters became household names, like Papa Jasko, Alinko, Pepeye, Pa Jimo, Pa James, and they were so popular that there was pressure on us to shoot a movie based on these characters in 1983. And so we went on location in 1983. And in 1984, our film, which was the first English comedy film in Nigeria, titled Papa Jasko, came out in 1984. And We took it throughout the country. We went as far as Ghana, Liberia, and all West African countries. It was a huge success in 1984. What then? In 1985, we produced some video films. Binta, my daughter, and a few other ones. And then the constant devaluation of Naira made business very difficult because then filmmaking was dollar-based economy. You know, you shoot your film on celluloid, take it to London for processing, bring it back, showing in large cinema halls, and then it was very cumbersome and very capital intensive. So when Naira fell and cost of production rose, then we started looking. Most of us producers then, Ogunde, Bello, Baba Salah. So we started, looking for alternative ways of entertaining people other than film. And so in 1997, we started producing Papa Ajasko television series on AIT. That was 1997. And the year 2000, we started producing Super Story. And the two programs have been on air ever since. We thank God for the gift of life, for the gift of good health, which we sometimes take for granted. And we thank God for where we are today. We'll be able to expand beyond the TV programs. So we've done Pepsi Film School. We have secondary school, Binta Secondary School, and a host of some other companies. So we thank God for the journey so far. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think he deserves a very good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's very interesting. I mean, I said jokingly that, and this is off record, that 3/4 of Ajawa Estate, he owns it. I'm not joking.
No. We all know you are joking now. We know you are joking. We know you are joking.
I'm joking, but you know, yeah. So,
tax people.
And it's interesting to listen to this story. There's a part he didn't talk about when he was in Unilag as a student and how he started the magazine for Unilag. And then when he left, graduated, he now said, I can actually do this. So the point is, imagine a student starting off as a student, right? And then building an empire, a business empire. In case you don't know, Biola, that just finished, is Baba's daughter. And she is, like you heard, she's the registrar of PEFT. We have Wala Denuga Jr. seated here. Very soon he will join us upstage. He is the CEO, the managing director of WAP TV, Wala Adenuga Productions. And then we have Wole Adenuga, who is also the CEO of WAP TV. So you can see that a new generation has taken over.
Yeah.
And the humble beginning, it's very inspiring. And that is why this session is very, very important to me personally, because of his trajectory and how he started. So I just want us, before, like I said, he wants this to be very interactive. But before I throw it up for, for anyone to ask him questions, I just want you to, give us a bit. You've been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? Some people in this room were not born when you went into television. Yeah. And from the time you started up until now, so many things have happened. I'm happy you listened to all the issues. The previous panel was AKA problem panel of the different things that are happening. Yeah. So what are the things that you will really want to see addressed in our industry that from where you sit as an elder, as a veteran, that if we do not address these things, that this industry is not going to go forward?
Well, I belong to the two sectors of the industry, the film and television. Now, talking about the film industry, the the problems we are having, they are very simple to solve. But you see, like the Holy Book says, we have left undone what we ought to have done. And the truth is not in us. One of the major problems the film industry in Nigeria is facing right now is affordability on the part of the film-loving crowd. Affordability. You say a ticket is going for about 7,500 now.
With that popcorn and drink.
How many people, if we are on 100,000 a month, you cannot afford a cinema date with your family. The solution is very simple. I think the government should give us community cinema halls in every section of the town. Do you understand? And then let the cinema owners limit all those sophisticated cinema houses to VI and Lekki. Do you understand? All this is Solo, Ikeja, all of them. Let's have community where people can watch for 2,000 naira. You can have 10 shows in a day. You still make your money. 10 shows in a day. See, when Papa Jasko came out, I've always been an advocate of affordability, cheap prices. You understand? When Papa Jasko came out in 1984, that National Theatre, there's a hall inside it that could seat 5,000 people. That hall, we fill it up 4 times every day. Yes. We broke down the doors of the National Theatre. We did a record in that place. All the money we used on the film, we made the money in 3 days. 1 weekend at National Theatre. Because the price was cheap. You understand? The majority of people watching film in this country are poor people. You see, the rich people of the VI, Lekki, they are a confused generation. Yeah. They are ashamed of Nigerian culture. They are ashamed of... Look, if an average... most of them are wannabes anyway. You understand? They are wannabes. You see? You can imagine when they are watching, even all this Nollywood we're talking about, watching Nollywood on their TV set, and a visitor is coming, they suddenly change to CNN. To impress people that, we are Twitch, we are up there. No, do you understand? Yeah. The real people are the CDE class of people. Sulere down to Ajegunle. These are the real people. Like D.H. Lawrence says in one of his books, the difference between people is not in their color, not in their money, but in themselves. You understand? And that from the rich people, you don't get to know anything about this life. But from the poor people, you get to understand them. A poor man will show you the way he feels. When he's crying, he cries. He rolls on the floor. He does it natural. A rich man doesn't cry. They sob. Just like it. Full of pretense. Do you understand? They're not proud of our films. No matter how good they are, make this film available to people, to poor people who are yearning for it. They don't need education. The hunger is there already. What remains is affordability. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's happening. Lagos State built some community houses, film houses, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
what became of them?
It was burnt during NSAS.
They were all born during NSAS?
I think so, most of them. Yeah. So, but I think, sir...
Do you understand?
Yes, I get
Community
your point.
center where people can watch film for 2,000 naira.
So, question...
Even abroad in Germany, I once visited a cinema complex. You understand? Complex where they have about 20 cinema halls in one big complex. You just come in, pay about, maybe let's say you pay about 10,000 naira. You can remain in that complex throughout the day watching different films. Make it affordable, make it cheap. Our people are talented. We have beautiful films coming out. Another problem we are facing in the cinema is caused by the cinema owners themselves. The cinema owners, they are not friends of the producers. They are wicked people. They are wicked people. See, you are laughing. Actually, you men, I pity you. Because if you like produce the best film in this country, take it to the cinemas. Cinema owners will not take. They rather give the horse to women. That is why every December, hey,
Please take it
see,
down, take it down, take it
a
down.
77-year-old man will not tell lies. I've seen it all. I'm not afraid of, at this my age, I'm not afraid of any human being anymore. Maybe 10 years ago. Yoruba film producers started this business since maybe 1960, 1970. So we have a lot of good, creative Yoruba producers in that Yoruba sector of the Nollywood. Do you understand? But what do you find? Every December, Film One, that is the owner of the greatest number of films in Nigeria, opened their doors to only Funke, Messi, and Tony Abraham. Hold on. I can say this on CNN because I have the proof. If you are a man, you produce the most beautiful film, this morning. Take it to them. They have reserved their horse. Come, go to film one as we speak. Their December dates for the next 10 years I've given to these girls. Then you start wondering, where are the men who taught these girls how to act? They are still around. That's why they are now all of them rushing to YouTube. Because the cinema people, they are wicked. They have killed many producers because a lot of people have committed suicide when they cannot when they
Please,
couldn't recoup their money.
Can we take it
Please,
down?
Hold on.
Please. Thank you.
I'm saying this because I was a victim of this. We produced a film in the
2022, I think.
20 what? 2018. We took it to Film One. It's all beautiful. We waited on them to give us date for 6 months. They didn't. They were reserving their dates for those girls who have not even gone on location. And then when our film came out, eventually, in fact, they didn't take the film. We have to go to Silverboard at the end of the day. But Silverboard, how many horses do they have? So when you see what I want to tell you is, don't be deceived by sales figures. When you see a film by a girl making 2 billion, it doesn't mean that it's the best film. A film that made just 50 million may be better than a film making 2 billion. How? Because 300, 400 horses were thrown open to the girl to make 2 billion. Whereas you as a man, only 4 horses were open to you. You understand? But you see, male producers have been dying in silence because you cannot say this thing out for fear of being blacklisted. It's like cultism. See, it's like cultism. If you speak out like this, they blacklist you, but to hell with them. I'm above that level of I'm above that level. So,
thank you.
If government
Please,
had helped,
let's take it down.
if government had helped us with, this community cinema house, for instance, then the monopoly they are enjoying presently could not have come into, could not have happened. If you have enough halls showing films.
Can you talk about, thank you, sir.
Is that what?
Can you also talk about the issues around television?
Yeah,
because
the television.
Yes.
I'm a die-hard TV producer.
Yes.
Even in our sector, the programs, the problems are many. How do we operate? You look for money, produce your TV program. Do you understand? Then you go to TV stations. How much do you sell your 1 hour airtime? I want to bring my program. AIT, for instance, will tell you 3 million just to show 1 hour program. a week. Do you understand? That means in a month, if it's weekly, in a month that's 3 million times 4, 12 million. It's as high as that. NTA is around 2 million per 1 hour. Do you understand? So you will look for money, produce your program, and then go to a TV station and pay for airtime. And then where do you make your money from? Advertisements. Abi? Advertisement from advertising agencies. But what is happening these days? Advertising agencies, the managers have started producing their own programs. So they are our greatest competitor. And on 2 or 3 occasions, the advert director has approached my marketer to say, why are you marketing for Wale Adenuga? Resign and start your program. I give you adverts. So it's happening right now. I pity all those big companies that are advertising because they don't even know where adverts are going into. Because a program produced by a lady, a young girl, admired by an advertising agency guy, a program that comes out this evening, we have about 20 adverts. You, that your program has been around for 20, 30 years, maybe you have 3 or 4 adverts. So there are problems all over the place. And nobody to sanitize it for us. But it's still better than the cinema. It's still better than the cinema. Those people, they are motherfuckers, man. They are motherfuckers. I mean, they are. Honestly. Honestly, I wish, hello.
Please, let's take it down.
Hello. I wish 1 or 2 of them can come out here right now and now let us have a debate. Any cinema owner here? Let them come out. Let them come out. Let them come out and tell me that I'm lying. Let them come out and tell me I'm lying.
My boy. Right.
I mean, on whose side are you?
He said,
I am cinema
can we
side.
get it
yeah,
down?
that's okay.
Can we get it down? Can we get it down?
Oh yeah, hey, let's hear him.
He's asking, on which side are you? On whose side are you?
On which side are you?
So we want to know.
I'm
whose
on the
side.
cinema side.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell them I'm lying.
No, you're my ebo. I can't say you're lying, but I'll say you're incorrect.
Okay. Oh, yeah, prove me
Okay.
wrong.
A cinema
Yeah.
does not show films or accept films because the filmmaker is male or female. A cinema is built, we take money from the bank,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and shareholders,
Yeah.
and this money has got to be returned.
Yeah.
A cinema will only show and accept products that people here are going to pay for. Yeah?
Yeah.
And a cinema is like a supermarket. A supermarket shelf spaces are limited. They won't accept every product like ShopRite. Yeah. ShopRite will accept products that people are buying.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. The highest selling fast food in Nigeria is Gala.
Okay.
Please show me how many supermarkets you find Gala.
Okay.
You find them on the streets, the
Okay.
traffic.
Okay.
Yeah. Because ShopRite and such like, they're responding to what people are coming in there to pay for.
Okay.
Anything people are not paying for simply means the supermarket, just like cinemas, will not accept it.
Okay, let me ask you.
No, sir, can I ask you one question?
Okay, yeah, go
You
ahead.
mentioned that you brought a film.
Yeah.
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 Guys,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
my boy here owns a cinema, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. He owns a cinema. So the film you said that film one refused.
Yes.
When you showed it in your cinema, how much did it make? How much did film house and the rest of the cinemas miss out on?
Thank you.
How much did your film make in your cinema?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The week our film came out,
Yes.
it beats all other
No,
films.
figures, please. Sir.
Figures, no, I can't remember. We're talking about it 4
Sir,
years ago.
on my phone here,
You can
I
go and
have
check.
figures
You can
from
get
every
Comscore.
single film
Go and-
in West
go and
Africa.
check Comscore. I mean, what do you call it? What's the name of that?
Comscore, yes, Comscore.
Comscore.
I have
That
Comscore
we-
here.
That we beat all
I have
films.
Comscore here, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can check the week we came out. We beat
Yeah.
all films.
What is the title of this? What is the title of the
Let me
film?
ask you
Yeah.
a question. Now, you own a cinema house.
Yes.
Why don't you just specialize in distribution? These guys you are talking about, you invest into them. You put your money into their films.
Which
That is why you put them. You give them priority over every other producer. You
So,
invest in them.
see.
Why should you co-produce with them? Why not face your distribution and let producers face production?
Let me make something very clear.
Why don't
let,
you? Yes.
Let me make something very
Yes,
clear.
yes.
If I'm a supermarket,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
and I want to sell grocery,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Please, let's
Guys,
keep it
quiet,
down.
yeah? Guys, quiet.
Yes.
This is very good
Yes.
because it is part of knowledge and
Yes.
clearing things
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah. If I'm a supermarket selling grocery,
Yeah.
yeah, and suppliers are not supplying me the kind of grocery people are buying, I will invest in the business so that my business will go.
No.
Wait. You
No,
can
Nigerian
you can
producers.
shout as much as possible.
No,
Yeah, you can shout no as much as possible. That's the reality. That's how it is everywhere in the world. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Okay.
No, I've not finished, sir. AY's films. Yeah, showing
Please,
cinema.
let's keep it
Yeah?
down. Let's keep it down.
There's a reason.
Thank you.
There's a reason and an entitlement mentality that pervades in this industry and in the country. That is why next year we're still going to have these debates. Now, the people that listen, yeah, I do a lot of film business training in universities as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the
That's
people.
theory.
Let me give you examples. Yeah, the AYs, the Mo's, the Omonis, the Funkes, the Tonys. All these people, they sit down in the office of meetings with us and they understand. We teach them what people are paying for, not what we like. My business is set up to get money from you, and I respond to what you are paying for. Yeah. Now, what you are paying for is what I will stock because I need to make money to pay my banks. Yeah. If you give me a product, let me tell you something. A good product does not guarantee sales. What guarantees sales is an appealing product. What people will pay. Okay. Now, why is your cinema? Yeah, you're a cinema owner. Why is your cinema not delivering the kind of money you're talking about?
No, he doesn't have a cinema.
Okay. Can I talk? Can I talk?
Yes.
Now you tend to underrate Nigerian producers, their creativity. Most of you guys spend the larger part of your life in London. You people just came back from London how many years ago? You cannot understand the terrain more than Nigerian producers who grew up in this environment. There's no way. I'm telling you. So you are not the one that will come and teach people like Bello, Aluwe, what kind of film people want to see. No way.
Please take it down. Take it down,
No
please.
way.
Take it down.
People just came from London.
Please.
You have spent the last 20, 30 years in London. There, you are
Sir,
already an
this is-
alien.
okay.
You don't know what our people want. You don't know more than Nigerian producers who have spent your whole life here. Number two, I don't own a cinema house. That's wrong information. I
have been there. I've been
a
there.
cinema house.
Where's your son, Wale Adenuga?
He's here.
Yeah? You
We don't know.
you
That's the
hosted
hall-
me. I've been
that's
there.
the hall we use for 50 short films. Yes.
We supply films to the
Forget
business.
about that. You people just came back from London. There's no way you understand the terrain.
Sir, please. I
More
didn't just
than
come back
Nigerian
from London,
producer.
sir. I didn't, seriously, sir. I didn't come back from London, sir.
came back when?
Yeah?
You came back
I didn't
when?
just come back from London.
You came back
yeah?
when?
Okay.
You came back when?
Okay.
Okay, so
I think,
guys, yeah?
Kenneth,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
No, you came back when?
Thank
You
you.
came back when? Answer that. You came back when? You don't know. Don't go. You know.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, audience. I know that this has been, every year we always have this heated
Now
conversations.
that Kene has seen the truth, I hope the truth will make him whole. And from now on, they will change for the better. Because I don't like the attitude towards film producers. It's not. He knows it. He knows it.
This is a voice
Although
crying.
they could always blame it on their former MD. Yeah, that's what they could always blame it on former MD.
He's the former
Yes.
MD.
Hmm?
He is the former MD.
Former MD.
Yes.
No. No.
All right.
Moses was their former MD.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, for
What was their former
distribution.
MD?
For
What are you talking
distribution.
about?
Okay. Okay.
What are you
So
talking about?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir,
Yeah.
for it's been a very interesting and lively. Please, can we put our hands together again? So, this is like a voice crying in the wilderness on behalf of the producers. Some of you, some of things he's voiced out are things that you never ever dare to say. Yes, and the whole essence. I've seen this kind of conversation happen severally at Nifs every year, and things change after. So we're not just talking for the sake of talking. Very soon, these videos are going to go out there. I know.
And this is a function of demand and supply. Let's have many, community cinema halls. Many of them.
Many community cinema halls.
All this pressure on the few ones we have
will reduce.
Will
So
reduce.
I'm looking forward to people who will come up with this concept. A lot of people are coming up already with that as a solution to go pitch to investors to say, listen, we have clearly a distribution problem, right? And it has to be homegrown. The solution has to be homegrown. Enough of waiting for people to come outside. They decide when you make money and when you don't make money.
Yeah.
They decide when you buy house and when you can't buy house again. So we have to start looking inwards, and I think that is a major, major key takeaway. I know he has had to express himself, concerning the things happening in the industry, but let's not lose the solutions that he came out to say the problems, and he also, please, let's take it down. And then he also profiled solutions to this problem. So that is very critical to what we have actually listened to this morning. Please, just one question because our time is up. Just one question. Just one. Unfortunately, I can't take more than one question. The debate that just happened took your question and answer time. And just while we're waiting for the question, please, can somebody pass the mic? The mic. Can someone pass the mic,
No,
please?
we can hear from there.
Can you just stand up to ask your question? Yeah, the mic, please. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Marfa Maria from Rarson Studios. So I'm a producer, and I can relate to everything that I've been hearing here. So my question now is that, because I see a gap between top producers, top people in the industry, and the ones I imagine. So, but what I think the challenge now is that those I imagine, like those that are upcoming, right, they don't have a direction. Because we in Nigeria, for Nollywood, there's no film culture. We don't have a culture that we can embrace over the years. Everybody's just coming, they'll just come all like in the morning. I'm a producer, I'm a director, I'm a this, I'm a that. People just take up roles and just do whatever they want to do in the name of filmmaking. So what do you think is best that can be done regarding this so that people that are coming up, they can have like something to follow, like order of process? If you go to Hollywood, no matter what you're doing, even if you're just starting, there's what they call order of things. You cannot just come up from the blues and say, I'm a director or I'm a producer. There are certain things that you have to do, apart from even going to film school. So what is the best way?
What's the best way forward?
That we can have a culture, for filmmakers in Nollywood, everybody in general. Thank you.
Well, it's very simple. There are many departments in filmmaking. There's acting, there's directing, there's editing, this and that. So first of all, you need to find out where your talent lies. Do you understand? But I don't believe everyone can become a producer. Producing is a spiritual thing. That's the truth. Producing is a spiritual thing. Just like not anybody can just wake up and say it's going to build a church, or we want to start a church. Well, these days is business, but it's not everybody that can start a church. You need to be called. So for you to be a producer, have you received that gift of storytelling? Because if you have been called to be a producer, then you can be sure that God will supply all your needs. Stories will just be coming to you night and day, anytime, even in your sleep. But if you don't know anything about story, and you want to be a producer, you cannot go far. For how long are you to be using? For how long are you going to be using people's stories, or begging people for stories? If they give you 10 stories, you won't know which one to pick. So that gift of storytelling is very, very important. Some have the gift of camera. Somebody like Tunde Kilani is naturally gifted in camera. In camera work. Right from tender age of 10, 12, he has been toying with camera. So it comes natural to him. So he doesn't see himself as an actor. He never saw himself as an editor. But that as a cameraman, he has the talent, and he can go to any part of this world to practice that. No, do you understand? There are also some talented editors too. So find out where your talent lies.
And then get trained.
Yeah. If your talent is not in filmmaking, you can go and be selling Dangote cement or any of these.
Thank you.
It's true. There are many opportunities, business opportunities all over the place. But for you to be a producer, make sure you are spiritually endowed to carry out that function.
Thank you. Thank you. Just the last question, and we are up. Chini, the mic, please. Who has the mic, please, fast? Our time is fast spent, please.
It's nice to meet you, sir. I want to ask a question. And my question is around structure. Most times as filmmakers, a lot of us are just operating business that when we die, nobody's going to take over. I really want to find out how you were, because I love the fact that I realized that she's your daughter and he's your son. I want to find out what measures you put in place to make sure that you had structure, that even when you're gone, your business still remains. It's really, I really want to know.
Gone where?
Okay, when you retire, sir. You retire. When you retire.
Did I tell you I was traveling?
No. When you retire.
I've retired anyway. I've retired. Okay, sorry for that. Yes. You see, what has happened to me is the wish and prayer of every parent. So it's divine. It's a divine arrangement. I'm just enjoying that divine favor. That I'm able to hand over to my children while alive. But then, the way to go about it is, right from the time your children are in secondary school, let them come around your office and familiarize themselves with what you are doing. Make a conscious effort to nurture them in what you are doing. And that's what worked for me. And from the time they were in secondary school, they have been working with me. University holiday, they've been working with me. For the past 10 years, Gino has been producing all those super stories that you see. All the Papa Jasco, he has been producing everything. So I'm just supervising. Do you understand? So I thank God for the opportunity, that grace given me to hand over while I'm alive. You understand? But it's achievable by every parent. You understand? The Bible says, teach your children, teach your child.
The way should
don't they read Bible?
The way they should go.
The way they should go.
Yes.
So catch them young. Introduce them. Don't say they are too young. They're not too young to help you carry camera, do this. Children are good at learning.
Thank you. Catch them young, it is. Thank you.
And I wish you the same. I wish you the same divine favor, the same grace.
Thank you. And before we get off stage, he's got copies of his biography.
Yeah.
And how do you give them out? Those that ask you questions.
Where are they? Bring the box.
Please get the box. It's at the box. Yeah. So he's got some complimentary copies.
Okay, let's start with the people that ask questions.
Okay. Yes. So you're gonna get just complimentary copies from the book. Thank you. Thank you. Please, can we just give another round of applause for him? Okay, the first 6 panelists. Yeah, please, can someone just get this? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And if, in case you want a copy of his biography, please just reach out. Wale Adenuga. Biola, please join us off stage.
China, you leaving now? Please, no, don't leave. Thank you, IJ, and I'll just call Brenda and Brenda will call everybody.
Gender equitable storytelling. No, I was explaining to what them what we're doing there. Female representation.
Kind of how it is. So there's you guys here, and then there's the panel one. So everybody's coming together.
We're all together.
Oh. Sorry?
Did you give me an idea when mine is? We'll be on the panel. I cannot be panel. Yes, it's for the people. After the panel.
The 2 things I'm going to ask for is, I should come where? You want me here? Up. Okay. I want to ask for 2 things. The first thing is, I want to ask for your attention. It's important that we listen to what we're going to talk about, because it might be a bit controversial, it might be a bit... for lack of a better word, it might just poke you a little bit, but I want us to listen and not talk to each other. Let's do it. Let's listen to this. Nobody's listening to me anyway, but, let's try. 2, we're going to ask you to do a survey after this event. We're going to put the QR code on the screen, and we want to really hear your opinion about what we've discussed. So it's important that you do those 2 things. I'm asking very nicely, please, for you to, at the end of the hour, scan the QR code and do the survey. Okay. Are we ready? Good afternoon again. Just checking if you were listening. All right. Thank you very much. Welcome. And this presentation is called Dangerous Women. I kind of listened to what happened in the last panel session, and I feel like, maybe this can be some sort of a rebuttal, but not exactly. What I'm trying to do here is share with you the historical overview of how Nollywood has portrayed women, over the last, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 years. It's important that you understand the history of it, so that as we move forward, in your responses, in the work that you create, in the things that you do in the future, you have this at the back of your mind, right? So I'm going to ask you, who here has a wicked mother-in-law? You have to put up your hand. Who has a wicked mother-in-law? Nobody. Nobody. Okay, wait. Let me ask you another question. It's not a rhetorical question. I want answers. There'll be prizes. Whose sister? Who here? Their sister is a gold digger. No. Nobody. No, you have to stand up and say your sister is a gold digger. Okay, wait. Let me ask one more. Who here? Your girlfriend or your wife is a homewrecker? Somebody a husband snatcher. Husband snatcher. Whose girlfriend snatched them? Nobody. No, I'm serious. Nobody. This is very interesting. Nobody. You have a wicked mother-in-law. Really? Where did you find her? Sorry. But do you understand why I am asking you these questions? No, seriously. Because, in advertising, perception is reality, right? What you perceive is what becomes real. And if you think that there's a stereotype, there's a character, there's a kind of person called the wicked mother-in-law, and you expose the wicked mother-in-law to millions and millions and millions of Nigerians in the north, in the south, in the east, and in the west, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Welcome to a historical analysis of female stereotypes in Nollywood. Slide 1. So we all agree on these facts. Nollywood has been a dominant force shaping gender perceptions. Nollywood has shaped the ideas of women, and women have also shaped Nollywood. This presentation explores recurring female stereotypes and their social, cultural impact. And the questions I just asked you are a reflection of the kinds of stories that we've been telling. And this is not to say we don't tell good stories. It's not to say we don't consider all angles and all facts. But I think that this is where unconscious bias comes in. And if you are honest, if you're really, really honest, where did you find out about the gold digger? Where? Somebody needs to answer me. I'm telling you the truth. Where did you find out about the gold digger? In film. Do you see? If you want to really accept and think about the work you're doing and the influence you are making, this is one question you need to answer. Is your sister a home wrecker? Is your sister a home wrecker? Talk now. Is your sister a home wrecker? Is your mommy a gold digger? Did she marry your father for money? Okay. I mean, there's another conversation to be had. You understand? But in general, is your sister a gold digger? No. All right. Slide 2. I hope I have your attention now. No, not yet. Some people have not answered. This is not slide 2. Is it? Oh, it is. No, please go back. You're giving away everything. Aha. All right. So I just wanted to point out, in the last, number 5, Nollywood doesn't just reflect society. It shapes moral expectations, gender norms, and the boundaries of female agency. Right? So think about things like men don't cry. Right? Yes, they do. Men don't cry. Men don't gist, they don't gossip, they don't chit chat. Do you understand? Where do these things come from? And it's important that you start to look at what you're putting out there to ensure that you're creating a balanced and equitable world. This is not about men versus women, I'm telling you. It's not about that. It's about what is reality. I asked you a couple of questions. Is your sister a gold digger? No. Is your sister a Nollywood baddie? Maybe. You know, but the truth is, she is not the reflection of all women, right? And I want us to understand that. Slide 2 now. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm ready. Sorry, I apologize. Slide 2. Thank you. What this research is going to point out or highlight are things like narrative violence, emotional flattening, stereotype fatigue, plenty English, yes, but what it is are the things that happen as a result of some of the work that is being put out there. Narrative violence means that every time a woman is successful in a story, she's punished. Do you understand? She's punished. So if she's successful, she'll lose her family. She'll lose her home. Something must happen. She can't just be successful and still, a great mother, a great friend, a great anything. Everything always, she just must be punished. Emotional flattening. She's crying. She's following one man. That's all. What other emotions does a woman exhibit in the films? But you know that the things that make you happy might not be the most obvious things, but they do make you happy. But you can't find that reflected in anything that you're watching. So it's important that we look at, the kind of characters that we're building. And then, of course, stereotype fatigue. What happens is everybody now knows this is the wicked mother-in-law. So, okay, she's expected to be wicked. We're not looking for any other thing from the woman. In fact, should the woman flip or change during the film, everybody will now be like, God is on the throne. You understand? The woman must have gone to the war room, and all whatnot. Yes. But that is not the true reflection of who you are. As a woman sitting in this room, that's not all you do. You don't just cry, cook, wail, and shout on your husband or quarrel with him or whatever. It's just not the way we are. What you need to realize is that a lot of people are watching of the other gender, of the same gender, and it influences the way they think. And what that leads to is real life abuse and inequality. I heard there was a comment, in the last session around the girls, things have been reserved for the girls or something like that. But if you're a filmmaker in this room, what has been reserved for you? If you are a female filmmaker in this room, what has been reserved for you? What has been kept for you? What did you get because you were a girl? You just walked in, swung your hair, posed, and they gave you slots for a December run in the theater. No, I need you to answer. Did you get it? Did that happen to you? No? Did you say yes? No. Oh, thank you. Some voices. All right. But what that means is that people are going around thinking that you did. That's the only way you got what you got. Not because you're a box office wonder. Not because you did the marketing. Not because you put in the production. Not because you're a box office wonder. Not because you did the marketing. Not because you put in the production. Not because you're a box office wonder. Not because you did the marketing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The microphone, he was listening. So it reinforces real-life abuse and inequality, limits imagination of female identity, reduces diversity of stories told. Next slide, please. So when we start in the home video era, which we know, VHS tapes everywhere, Every market stall had these tapes. But what was dominant was the witch Jezebel, the long-suffering wife, the wicked mother-in-law, and the gold digger. Next slide, please. Oh, they're angry. I know. Something has happened. I should go. Let me go on. Yeah. So we went into the digital boom. You know, with improved production came fresh but familiar stereotypes. The slay queen, the home wrecker, the marriage-obsessed woman always in the war room looking for the husband. After she has finished praying, she'll wear a fine dress and still go and look for the guy. When she finished, she will cook for him. When he finished eating, she will, go to the other room. When she finished with that, she will go back again to the war room. It was a battle. Please, if you have boyfriend or husband, is that how you got him? Realistically, is that how you got him? No. But they've said these things all the time, and now it becomes what is real. So, of course, some of the films that we've looked at that reinforce some of these things, Living in Bondage, Karashika, Domitila. Next slide, please. We've already gone through. Next slide, next slide. You guys, you lost. We've moved ahead. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Not all of them have played these roles. Yes. And these are our legends, our legacies, our icons. But imagine that some people, this is what has been tied to to them as reality. Patience Ozokwo, everybody thinks she's wicked. She's the loveliest woman I've ever met. The kindest, the gentlest, the loveliest, extremely humble, in fact. But everybody now thinks when you're talking about wicked mother-in-law, that's the person to look at. Next slide, please. The Nollywood baddie. Let's go. We're running out of time. Next slide, please. The home wrecker. Is that your sister? Is that your sister? Is that your sister? Exactly. Go on. Next slide. Of course, all female happiness is tied to finding a husband. They've told us that is our mission in life, to get married. They train you like that. Move on. Voices from the industry. Ngozi Ezeonu were always cast as the wicked stepmother or the suffering wife. It was either or. Amaka Igwe, the late great Amaka Igwe, I wanted to write characters that felt like women I knew. Strong, smart, but imperfect. And then Damilola says, audiences are ready for layered women. Filmmakers just need support. Next slide, please. Early disruptors. This is where we start to get excited. We're going to look at Anne Hatrop, a character from Checkmate, which is played by Ego Boyo. Personal story, I've said this everywhere. Between my mother and Anne Hatrop, that was how I knew that I could have a career. That it wasn't going to be go and open a shop, something. But personal story, quite honestly. That was the first time I was seeing somebody that I was like, wow, who is this? And I sought her out in real life. So yes, there's Peace from Violated, Nkechi from Rattlesnake, Ada from Glamour Girls, and all of those family matriarchs, women that hold the family together, But we don't emphasize it. We don't focus on it. Every time you want to put a woman up, she's negated. She's successful, but she's negated. Next slide, please. Of course, this was our transition period. Look at that. Corporate ambition. You have ambition. You're glamorous, you're professional, but you're cold. You must always be harsh, hard. They give you the B word, and all of that. Rivalry and sacrifice, If you're successful, you're lonely. If you're successful, you have a family issue. Then emerging power. Next slide, please. New Nollywood. They brought better production value, higher theatrical releases, all of those things. And it looked like the women were getting, they were starting to have agency. But the truth, again, is they still were flattened. it still came with this. There was still Slay Queen, there was still Jezebel, there was still Wicked Mother-in-law. Even though Wicked Mother-in-law was now a corporate baddie, she was a woman of much substance, but still she was a wicked mother-in-law. Next slide. Of course, this was a powerful film that showed a journey of two women that were not against each other. This was something to consider and to look at. Next slide, please. The figurine as well. Next slide, please. Next slide. So yes, we finally come to this era, the streaming wars, and all of that. Now we have this successful character, Daisy, very competent, but she still needs a man. There's a test called the Bechdel test, and you can use it when you're writing your scripts to check if your work is balanced, if it's equitable. There's the Bechdel, there's the Makomori. You can apply those tests to your script and see must every woman be saved by a man. Do you understand what I mean? You can make the person strong, independent, school, everything, but they're still saved by a man. And this is not to negate the power of men. But this is just to say that this is not the ideal. People should be people. Whether you're a woman or a man, fully independent, full everything. It shouldn't just be that, okay, everything is, you understand? Anti-heroine, King of Boys, they introduced a villain, a female villain, and it was glorious as far as I was concerned. However, they killed her children. Why? That's her punishment for, yes. So men that are villainous, you know how many people Chidimokeme has played as a villain? All of those characters. Who killed his wife? Who killed his children? No, you're just talking about the new one. I'm talking about everything. Do you understand what I mean? But these characters are there. Next slide, please. Rewriting the script. We've started to talk about it. Strong, morally ambiguous. Just because somebody is a good mother doesn't mean they cannot be a terrible person. Women should not be made digestible to be accepted. You understand? Because you go around, you know people that are wicked, whether they are men or women. But they have children. They have grandchildren. They are in loving families. And those two things can be true. All right? Next slide, please. More women behind the camera. Thank God. We're starting to see that. But we need more technical capacity around everything, from editing to lighting to the sound to everything. We need more women behind the scenes. Support for feminist and diverse storytelling, media literacy, and critical reviewing. There was a critics review early today, and we're hoping that as we move forward, especially as you've heard this little 10-minute presentation, you're able to think more about balanced characters. Nollywood holds a mirror to society. It's time we choose a different reflection. And with that, I'm going to introduce my panelists for today. Thank you. In fact, should I be the one introducing? Should I just introduce the moderator? Okay, our moderator for this afternoon is Wana Odobang. My co-conspirator, as you have been seeing all the branding, is Biodun Stephen. Of course, the great Egoboyo. Oh, I should introduce myself. Sorry. Okay.
Right,
do you want to take that? This mic. Okay.
And we, of course, have Brenda Fashugba. You can clap now. Good afternoon, everybody. Now, you were making so much noise before. Haba. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. It's very exciting to be here and to be having this conversation around deconstructing female stereotypes in Nollywood. And Brenda's really given us a lot to kind of discuss, but we're going to try to take it as quickly as possible. Biodun Stephen, I wanted to ask you, it's very interesting. So part of the research brought up this idea around narrative violence, emotional flattening, and stereotype fatigue. And I think Brenda also did mention how these stereotypes, these things we've been watching, I always say like how the arts is influencing our culture. You're working with actors all the time, and I imagine that as actors and storytellers, when they're coming to audition or even coming in, they're coming with stereotyped ideas of how a character should be. What's your process of kind of breaking that down and getting them to understand the complexity of a character?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for staying through for our panel. I think that for me, even from the moment the story is being written, the idea is never to flatten the characters, male or female. Again, for me, it's important that because I'm speaking from a female POV, it's always important that the characters are layered. And many times, yes, I do agree that actors come and they think that there's an idea, there's a way that they think that they want to interpret the characters, but then even from that stage of writing and into that point, it's taking them through my own thought process into building this character that I'm expecting them to embody and to begin to see how to channel it better. And my process is very simple. I like for us to discuss because I think that in discussing, it helps you to see my point of view, as the writer, and then also sort of helps me see your own interpretation of what has been created.
Thank you. Brenda, I want to know practical ways that you think these stereotypes are affecting culture and the ways in which we are living or being, because it's a form of socialization when you think about it. I wanted to just kind of break down practical ways in which it's manifesting and in which you are seeing it, because, again, art is subliminal, right? People are watching things, they're experiencing things, they're interpreting those things. So I want you to give just really practical instances.
I'm going to talk about female health, and that's something that a lot of men don't know anything about. They don't know anything about female health. They have wives, they have mothers, they have daughters, but they have no idea that when you turn 40, it's like the lights go down. It's like your body is preparing to die. And it might take you another 40 years to get there. But for a woman, it's very harrowing. It's a disturbing practice. We don't talk about these things. And you have women. I'm in my 40s. I'm closer to 50 than I am 40. And I know what I've been going through in the last 3 or 4 years. But there's nobody to talk to. Okay, Mrs. Boyer, I talked to you about it. But, there's nobody else. And it's only because she's experienced it. But we're not telling these stories. We're not even mentioning it. I don't need you to make the whole film about premenopause and menopause and all of those things, but indicate so that when a man is watching it, it's like, is this happening to you? Oh, wow. Okay, what can I do? You understand? But you're not talking about it. And that one is vital, personal to me. You understand?
Okay. Mrs. B, Brenda mentioned the fact that, watching Anne Hastrop on TV was the first time she was like, oh, ambition, aspiration. These are and her mother were the two women. Is it at the time when you were making Checkmates, is that something that you experienced, right, from audience members? And is it something that you thought this character would be able to produce this kind of, I don't want to say role model, but, influence, I guess, on people or young people at the time saying, oh, wow, I want to look like this woman, speak like her, be in an office in this kind of way, those kinds of ambitions.
Hi. Hello. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Hello, everyone. At the time, I have to admit, I also, like Hamaka, was surrounded by pretty strong, very smart women. My mother was a worker, very smart woman, very knowledgeable. And so when I got the part of Anne Hastrop, it wasn't outside the realm of, it wasn't a character that I thought was impossible and not timely for Nigeria. I thought it was something that, people would watch and embrace. And at the time we were doing it, yes. But I could not have foreseen just how impactful that character was for women. I think when it struck me over time, because we did that, I think it's almost 30 years, isn't it? It's even more than, I should be better at maths, but it's one of those things. Yeah, there's always brain fog. Brenda has already said something. But, 30 odd years ago, we did this. And for a lot of people, I still get that look. It influenced me. It did this. It did that. So I couldn't have foreseen just how, impactful it would be. Because I think in a bit of maybe being a little naive, I thought that it was normal and it would just be a progression from that sort of character being played. It was something that we would see just naturally in the corporate space, and then for young girls in school to just sort of take it on. And you just think, you don't sometimes think how deeply film or television or media can influence, but it's in seeing the reaction for people even 30 years after, saying things like, this influenced me, this is the reason I got into corporate Nigeria, I think we were on the same panel when that conversation, there was a group of young women that were in a secondary school in Lagos, and they said they had an almost an heartthrob club. They would do their hair the same way. It was all about the shoulder pads. But more than anything, apart from their parents, it was always important that they would be somebody, that they would dream beyond perhaps what they had been encouraged to. And a lot of them were encouraged to, dream big, be lawyers, engineers. So it was really impactful. But I have to admit, I don't think I saw at that beginning how important and how meaningful it would be.
And then 30 years later now,
Yeah.
you're a producer
Yeah.
of film as well.
Yeah.
What are your hurdles that you experienced in trying to create complex female characters?
I think it's really just the imagination of, our imagination being limited and being comfortable almost in going back to embrace more traditional tropes. Sometimes you see a character and you almost say, okay, look, this is a bit, too much. Will the audience digest it? But we need to be bolder. Because, there was a quote there that says something about, we're a mirror and we want to change the reflection. But apart from just changing the reflection, we also have to present the image that we want to see. We need to present the reality that we want to see, represent it on stage, because on screen, because we want to see it, and we already see it in real life. There's so many influential, important women who are doing great things. And there are also some women that are just living, and that's fine. But we need to reflect all of that. So what I have seen in the work that I've received is, because I've also been very focused on making sure that I get really good work that is, if there's a woman in it, she's represented, she's multifaceted, it's not just one-dimensional. I have focused on making sure that happens. We've workshopped things and written around it and all of that. And we've tried to, do stories that are not typical. Typical stories. One that comes to mind is the character Nse plays in a hotel called Memory. And there was a lot of conversation, because this was a divorced woman and she was trying to find herself. And in all the conversations, the women got it. But the men, I had a group of men. We had, just a conversation with men. And it was like, where are you finding herself from where? Where was she? Why is she lost? And all of that. But she was trying to find herself, her identity beyond just being a wife or a mother, and more than that. So it's just being very intentional about the kind of stories you receive and not allowing yourself to be limited by culture and what is traditional. Yeah.
Brenda, are we being lazy? We've heard about an imagination problem, right? And we constantly kind of do this thing where we defer to the audience. The audience doesn't want that. The audience is not ready. What does that mean? I mean, and we often, again, even within the flattening of the characters, we flatten our audience by thinking that perhaps even because they belong to a different socioeconomic group, then they cannot be complex human beings. Being knowledgeable or being smart has nothing to do with how much English you can speak. So is this an issue of laziness for us as creators?
It's a lot of things. Education. And I'm not talking about going to a private school. I'm just talking about having a robust curriculum that shares literature in school, where you are encountering characters. You understand? You are encountering diverse characters, different kinds of women, strong women, weak women, strong men, weak men. You know, if you examine Okonkwo from Things Fall Apart, is he a strong man or is he a weak man? What perspective would you take? But my point is education, first of all, you know. Then, of course, with it comes with all the limiting, you know, and with the lack of it, rather, comes all the limiting. So sometimes I'm not even sure people know what they're supposed to know. You know, so I can't really say filmmakers are lazy. I can say that they're underexposed. You know, yes, I can say that they're underexposed, and
So we have an education gap within
yes,
our artistry.
Yes, we do, and that affects everything that we do, not just the stories. It's also in the editing, the sound, the technical, and all of that. But it reflects in our stories so much that, you know, part of the reasons why some people say they're not working in Nigeria anymore is because the stories are not traveling. And I think it's an underexposure, you know. We can tell local stories globally. Squid Games is one, you know. So, yeah.
Okay, you wanted to say something to that?
Yes, sort of to speak on this. Beyond education, one of the questions I've been asked over time is, how come your stories are different? I write based on what I know. I write on my experiences. I take one character, and then I assume that this character has two choices. There's the familiar choice, and there's the unfamiliar choice, and I focus on the unfamiliar choice. That is how I've actively been able to sort of change or flip the channel on how I see stories. I'm largely influenced by my mother, who was a single mom. And so, maybe like Auntie Ego, I have only known hardworking women. She was a hard worker. But she also had a lot of flaws. So whilst I'm trying to represent her, I'm trying to make sure that her flaws, I sort of address it and then have that character transform by learning from it. So what I'm trying to say very easily is there is a girl that was born and the only thing she can do is prostitution. She would do it in the story, but she would meet redemption along the way. But the easiest way for, this is me now, fallacy, generalization, the easiest way for us to do in Hollywood is she meets a man, and that man marries her and changes her life. What I would do is that even from building that character, there is a hunger for more. So that when that man who becomes an ally sees her, he sees the hunger for more, which is what then births the transformation. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
And so I think that many times as writers, it's not a lack of imagination, lack of imagination, because many times we only think our 360. You have to think about, this is what I know, then how can I flip the choice? And then you change the narrative. I don't know if we...
Yes, you are making sense.
And I think my next question to you is, just before this panel, there's been a lot of talk about money and conversations about money and how, and it seems, you know, money is such a prevalent conversation, even in the structure and the system and how the stories are told, that oftentimes it's as though the creativity is something that's coming last, right? So first of all, I want to know, what is it about stereotypes that seem to be the things that sell? Or, because I've also heard other filmmakers say, if you write it like this, they are not going to want it. Or the producers are not, you know, the distributors are not going to want it, or the people in charge are not going to want it. You're a director, you're a producer, you're a writer, you're an actor. You're all of these things, right? So what is it about, you know, flat women, zero-dimensional, I don't even want to say more two-dimensional, zero-dimensional women that is supposed to be appealing and financially lucrative?
I think that it's something that we're appealing to. Again, it's not even just Nollywood, it's a culture thing. Many times you grow up seeing women who are at home, taking care of the children, praying over their husbands. It's pretty much, you go to school, you graduate, you marry, your job then is your children and your husband. It's something that we've all seen. And it makes for better conversation. You know, it makes for, but you know what makes for even better conversation is when you flip the switch. That makes for even better conversation, because that's when you can even effect change. And to digress a bit and piggybacking on what you said about stereotyping, it's same thing with actors. When you see Auntie Shola Sobowale, you only cast her for one thing. One thing is evident. She's shouting. And she will do 360-degree spin around. She will do that. But guess what? I've directed this woman before, and she said to me, "Do you want me to shout?" And I said, "No, ma, I don't want the shouting." So, because, and for me, when I work with so many actors, I take these people and then I say, "No, well, you do something else," because I feel like that it's fresh. Yeah. It's lazy for us producers, yes. However, you know that the audience, many times we are serving the audience, is the problem. We keep serving the audience. Once they see Auntie Shola, they know that it's action. Once they see Patience Otoko, it's wickedness. It's all these things. Yeah. So we're trying to serve the audience, but how about, you can't keep serving them rice and beans. You know what? Put small dodo, they will still chop it. But let's not be afraid to do that. And I think that's what we're afraid, because it's always about the naira and kobo. Yeah, we're so afraid to try new things because, money has to come back.
So, Brenda, my next question is for you, and I wanted to just give a little quick preamble. So I always say to everyone, I'm a failed filmmaker, because I tried to make films once upon a time. And I remember, like, my first short film I was trying to make, I had written a short story, and I was going to convert, say, the first, I think, 3 paragraphs into a script and then make a short film. And all my friends, my filmmaker friends, were all men at the time. So I met with all of them, different ones. I was like, I'm trying to make this thing, like, it's not going to work. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. Some people are like, maybe they were hating on you, but they actually weren't. In the end, then I meet somebody else, and the person's a woman, but also an experimental person in nature. And the person's like, oh yeah, dude, this is easy. Like, you can do this, I eventually make the thing, and of course it goes, at the time, this is 10 years ago, it goes viral, and all these women are sending me all these messages about it, and they're crying and all of this sort of stuff. I kind of share this story to say that what I realized in that process was that, having your perspective as a woman sometimes is so intricate, so intense, and so intimate that somebody else cannot understand it if they don't experience that thing. And so this kind of leads me to the question about us often talking about having more women in different parts of the filmmaking process. So I can speak to that in the sense of writing, right? You can see that, okay, different perspective is told because, yes, I'm a writer. But when we talk about, we need more women in cinematography, we need more women in editing, in camera work, all of these sorts of things, post-production as well. People think it's just a generic statement of just inclusion. No. So again, because I'm a very practical person, I want you to kind of enunciate on what are the ways in which these more women in these roles change the function of a story, change the way stories are being told in very, very realistic and practical ways that people may not be thinking about.
So last year, I exec produced a slate of short films. And by the time the films got to me on the first cut, I was like, why did you send this to me? Because I'm like, this is not acceptable, And sitting down in that room with other colleagues, I was basically editing the film by timestamps and telling them, cut this out at this time, cut that out at this time, put this in at this time, put that in, no, bring this frame here, do this, do that. And I did that for 10 short films, right? And I probably did it in half a day, And I think it's because I'm meticulous at what I do. I think it's because I'm a mom of 2 children, of different generations. I think it's because I'm a woman who holds pain, physical pain, as part of her life. I think those 3 things are true. Those 3 things happen at the same time. They're continuous. My momship doesn't stop. Today is my son's birthday, and I had to stay. Thank you. I had to stay home and come here a little later than I planned because I needed to wish him a happy birthday when he woke up. At the same time, I'm talking to my team, trying to get today organized. So I think the multitasking power of women, we have that thing. It's a spiritual gift as far as I'm concerned. God gave it to us because we hold life. We create life, And I think that gives us something. And without sounding fruity, the practice of training of us women and men, you have missed out on a lot, let me tell you the truth. Because of the way we are trained, it's almost militant in how to organize yourself, keep yourself together, articulate yourself, put your legs together, all of those things. They give us skills that are not monetized, that are not valued, but those skills are there. They keep us who we are, why we can come here. Maybe the world is falling apart today for somebody here. Even me, I don't know. But the point is, we have that organizational capacity. And I think that that's what women bring to the work that they do, quite honestly, because they're thinking about kids, they're thinking about food, they're thinking about work, they're thinking about the man, and all of these things happening simultaneously. And I think that that is a skill that is undervalued. Yeah. It's undervalued because nobody articulates it to say this is what a woman brings, when they're asking you, what do you bring to the table?
What about you? I mean, even in terms of technical work, what are some of the ways that you've seen women work differently from men?
I think that we need to demystify something that when there are women together, there's bickering. Yes, we go fight. Tongue and teeth, they are do fighting. That's
human, no?
Yes. But I don't think there's a function of the gender. Yeah. I think that there's something about women, it's that we're able to bond together. And I'll give an example. Me being a director, directing a very emotional scene. It is important that moment, my actor is ready. In fact, most of my crew members are here. We always have a conversation. It is one take. I don't want to take this person through this emotional turmoil multiple times. So everybody is ready, just so that we can help the actor be in that moment and perform and get it. Now, a man might not know that because act it, I don't like it, take two. There are even moments where you do a scene and you're not happy with the scene and you say, you know what, how about let's take a break? Go somewhere. Tomorrow we'll pick up the scene because I know that you're not emotionally. These are the sensitivities that a woman to woman share. And I think that is very important. In fact, how you are moving around the set in that moment, around the actor, just helping to make sure that the actor delivers. And I think that these are some of the sensitivities that we share. But some men, let's go, next. In fact, somebody is trying to get into a character, my DP is shouting. And I'm like, this person is in a zone. Let's preserve the moment. But, because we are two different genders, we don't really appreciate this. And it's not even just about a female actor. Even for male actor, we have to sort of protect them. And this is sensibilities that, most women. So it's important that we have more women.
I think okay. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. It's another thing about women is that there's something very specific, not only because of our, spirituality, just how we are as women, but there's just something about that female gaze and the way that we look at things is very different. The world generally looks at a lot of these things through the male gaze, even in terms of how we perform in, let's say, like a romantic film. It's usually what would appeal to men. So when you have a woman looking at these things through a female gaze, behind the scenes especially, it's very different. And when you were talking, it reminded me of a scene. As Biodun said, working with women is not what people often think is going to be fraught with difficulty. There might be difficulty, but there's also a symmetry and a chemistry. I've had the same chemistry with men as well. It's not even about that. But there's a difference when it's with a woman. I worked with an all-women team. One of our actors is here. We were female producer, director, 3 female leads. Production manager was female. Continuity was female. And there were a lot of men. It was wonderful with all of us, but there was just an ease. There was a scene, which was an intimate scene, being shot. And I'm not often on set when I'm a producer. I always avoid the set. But I happened to be there with the director, Mildred, and we were shooting this scene. And we did it, and I didn't think much about it. But later in the evening, Mildred said, look, I'm so happy you were there. There was just something about being very protective about our actors, male and female, in that, we closed the set, first of all, because a lot of our crew were also men. So we closed the set, and then we just made it. It was intimate, but it just worked. And we looked at even the way it was a very sexy scene. It was very sexy through a female gaze, which is very different from through a male gaze. Very different. And a lot of people don't appreciate that, and a lot of men do not. it's the rare man, I'm sorry, that will appreciate seeing a scene like that. So it's very true. Also, our cinematographer was female and our lighting person was female. So it was a very female.
I think I wanted to just mention that this part of this conversation is interesting to me because oftentimes when we talk about inclusion, diversity, it feels like people think that it's just tokenism, right? And I really wanted us to enunciate certain very practical and detailed elements of this so that people understand that the need, and also even the women in the room who often just go for performance-based roles or performance-based careers, to understand that your voice is necessary in all aspects of technicality. You know, when you're looking at editing, how are you editing differently? I remember shooting something, and because of a woman's detail behind the camera, she knows when your bra strap is coming out. You know, when your bra strap is coming out, when your dress is moved a certain way. Meanwhile, there have been times where I've been on film, and after that, our dress is almost like your pants is showing. And nobody told you. There were 20 people on set, you know, that sort of thing. Or you see the wig wig is lifting. And nobody's seeing that or nobody's paying attention to that. Because some people, it's not, I mean, men are not wearing wigs, so they don't really know. They don't know whether it's lifting or not. It's just like, character is wearing wig. You know, that sort of thing. And these are just even looking at sort of like physical detail, but I think there are even emotional details in the process of storytelling that these perspectives bring into the room as well. So, yeah, and I think because of that, I want to even ask you about, I'll ask you this question, which is, why are we still having more women just focused on getting into performance when it comes to filmmaking? You just want to be an actress. You want to be in front of the camera. What is still deterring us from getting into the nitty-gritty technical stuff? Because we can't keep, it's like we're talking with two sides of our mouth at the end of the day when we are constantly, we need more women in blah, blah, blah. But then everything is just, I want to be an actress. I want to be a star.
It's an excellent question that they can answer.
I even have an answer.
Because, again, I think that when we think about filmmaking, Nollywood, the first thing that comes to your mind is I want to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor when I started off. It was my dream, and I found my way behind the camera quite reluctantly. But then I found that that was my place. And I embraced it, and by the grace of God, I've been thriving there. I think that I always tell people that when you come into the industry, the first point of entry, usually for most people, is I want to act. In fact, most of the crew members you see today came in with the hope of I want to be an actor because there's something about being in front of the camera. It comes with stardom, it comes popularity, and then now in this digital age, it comes with a lot of free things. Free money, free whatever. So I understand that. But I think that what is wrong is for a female to not realize that you have greater potentials, behind the camera. You can even thrive even much more than in front of it. I have come to appreciate it now that I don't think I would ever have blown. I would have been a wakapas 20 years after, But I'm so happy where I am. And a lot of people are just afraid. A lot of girls, a lot of women are just afraid to take that leap. There's space for you. There's space. Come.
Brenda, because I'm going to add to that question. I want you to answer that. But I also want to add a follow-up question, which is, how do we get, because if we're talking about the future of deconstructing stereotypes and changing these stereotypes and changing storytelling, how do we get more women to be part and parcel of the total production system?
So historically, Nollywood was built on apprenticeship. In fact, the entire creative industry was built on apprenticeship. And when you were going for your apprenticeship as a cameraman, not a DP, it was go and learn camera. It wasn't because they were going to be lifting those heavy cameras. Women were just automatically ruled out. You understand? And that's what I think fed this, it's men, because it's the apprenticeship, you understand? Don't forget, you need to spend nights on sets. You need to be there overnight. Your father was not going to let you out of the house because you want to go and learn camera, So that's where it started from. Unfortunately, it's moved because it's not like we have a lot of schools that's teaching, camera. There are not a lot of schools. You still have to go through this apprenticeship situation. So this is where, if you are running an apprenticeship, I think it's important that you hire women. And you don't just hire women into the apprenticeship program. You create an environment where women can thrive. You understand? Because a woman will have her period while she's at work, so she needs a bathroom. A woman will get pregnant and have a baby while she's at work, so she needs somewhere to lay her baby. It doesn't need to be a creche. It just needs to be a clean office, where they can sit. And these are the things that will encourage women to join at one point in time, because when they come to your set and they see that, oh, there's a woman with a child here, it means it's safe. Because that's one thing men don't know. Women walk around thinking about their safety. You don't have to think about that as a man, but as a woman, that is your reality. Every girl here, every woman here walks around thinking about her safety. Can you imagine that that's what you're thinking about when you're walking to the parking lot because the sun has just gone down? Imagine that, even in Nigeria. So I think that if you want women, act like you want them. Behave like you want them. Build the systems that will allow them to be around you. That way they'll come. And as a shameless plug, we're starting female representation storytelling. We'll talk about it after this panel.
Egoboyo, I mean, women have, when we think about it, these women's stories have been the financial backbone of this industry. All the Nollywood sirens, screen queen, is majority women who, rose to, to the top, right? So we can't even, when we even talk about money, because I think it's important to talk about money if it's an industry that's also driven by money. Yeah. Women's stories have made people wealthy. Yes. So why can't we fix how those stories are told, or how do we do that futuristically moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's more the how. I think we just have to be a bit more intentional. We have to now recognize just the power that our stories hold and how we can shape narratives and change perceptions. If we recognize that, then we approach this by going into each story that we're going to tell with the idea that I'm trying to tell this story by fully representing women, showing a range of women, a range of women's emotions, a range of women's, just characters. And I want it to be reflective of the women in the society in which we live, one, but I also want it to be able to be a mirror for women to look at, young women to look at and see that I'm represented here. We have to just be more intentional. It is doable. As you said, the stories that have sold, women's stories have been the backbone. Mm-hmm. So it's just coming out of our comfort zone, one, but also being very intentional and being very practical. Brenda mentioned something about training for bias. And I have been in several juries recently where one of the key aspects of our judging was bias training. If we look at that, so that when you're being intentional, you're saying that in every story I tell, I want to tell it with great respect. So you go in there and make sure that when this story is written, from the moment it is written with strong female characters. And when I say strong, I'm not talking about she must be one hard babe or whatever. I mean in terms of how multifaceted that character is going to be. Tell it properly. If we've already sold this whole industry on these sorts of stories, then we should break out of, not try and keep being safe. Try and do something revolutionary, if that's the word you want to use, about the kind of stories that we're telling and the kind of women. They will embrace it. Just make it slightly different. We've seen it happen. So instead of Eniola being this kingpin who loses all her family, let her be this terrible woman, because there are women, if we're really telling stories properly, women are not one type. We're all goody two-shoes, or we're all strong and smart and perfect. The word is multifaceted. We're everything. We're great, we're terrible, we're sirens, we're gold diggers.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're also wonderful mothers, wonderful sisters, great mothers-in-law. The whole, yes, we're a whole range of things. Yeah. And we can represent all of that in the stories that we tell. And those stories will sell just as well as the stories before. I think there was a safety in sticking with the traditional, the stereotypes, because they have worked. But I see that there's a pushback. Now people are saying, I want to see women like myself, like my mother, like my sister, like the corporate titans that I see, like the woman in the market who is silently bearing the, carrying her whole family, paying for their school fees. I want to see them. I want to see them stand. And I think those stories can sell. We just need to be very intentional about where we're going forward.
We can be saints and sinner, Madonna and whore,
Yes, we can be all of those things. And sometimes one person is all of
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
things,
I'm going to go to the audience for questions very quickly. Do we have any questions? Somebody over there? Do we have a roving microphone, please? Okay, we can share. There's somebody over there. You can just take one of the mics. Thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my question is around, please, how do you find a balance in terms of writing or as a producer? How do you find a balance when creating a character that as you explained, the narrative violence, and then there is when you want to create a character that has flaws, that has because using King of Boys as an example. Before now, if I had watched Eniola, when I watched Eniola losing her children, I would have just said, oh, it's cause and effect, right? Karma. Yes, karma. So now, but I know better now. So just wanting to tap from your field of experience, if I were to do something like that, how do I find the balance so that in as much as this woman is probably paying for whatever it is she has, all the terrible things she has done, so it doesn't look like it's tilting towards narrative violence? Thank you.
Training and workshopping.
Film all the time.
Yes, she writes.
Yeah, oh my God. I think that again, one of the things that we suffer in, and this is me, our films are always preachy. Are always preaching. Yeah. For a character like Eniola, why can't she have suffered? Why did they need to extend to her children? And again, there is nothing. The audience will shout. But there is nothing wrong. Because, see, not everybody will do something. In fact, people will do something bad, kill the whole world. They will now choose that time to become born again. Then they will now have church. And that's it. And some of them will not even do anything. And because that is balanced storytelling. That you can be terrible and nothing will happen to you. Yes. Absolutely nothing, because we see them all the time. Yes. We don't even need to look far. They're in the newspaper. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think that because many times we always, try to say that once you do something bad must happen. It's a lie. It's not all the case. Yes. In fact, and if you take my film like Rose and Ivy, the sister was perfect. Yes. But she lost out at the end. She lost everything. People want to kill me for that. But that is life.
Just to help you, filmmaking is a collaborative process. There's no reason why you should struggle with this by yourself. Get into a writer's room, get into a workshop, you understand, and workshop your scripts with your own people you trust, you understand, and then you tell them, this is the outcome I'm looking for, how do I navigate? And then the ideas will come, you understand? But I think that if you don't have second eyes, third eyes, fourth eyes on your project, you end up telling a story that is limited and flat. So that's one thing you should leverage. Collaborate, find other people to work with, and give them credit.
And there are lots of tools. There are a lot of tools and a lot of resources. Nowadays, you have the internet. There are so many tools. Oh, okay, there's a mic. Oh, you gave me one, sorry. There are a lot of tools, there are a lot of resources. You can, study them. The idea that I am naturally gifted as a writer, that's fine. But you do need a lot of support. Yeah. You need a lot of support from, as you said, workshops or whatever, but you do need a lot of support.
Can we take one question very, very quickly? Just be very direct with your question because we have to wrap it up. Thank you. Anybody else? And
I still have to launch
we can close the conversation. Okay, we don't?
We do.
All right, very quickly, please.
Hi, good afternoon. So my question is for the queen and goddess that is Ego Boyo.
Oh, wow.
The name, because I'm a filmmaker and I remember the first name I learned I used to look at credits as a child, even when I wasn't allowed, was your name. Now, nostalgia is a very big thing in Nollywood, and you had the films that families, children, everybody was allowed to watch. Would I say that a suggestion for a question? Do you have plans to bring back these characters that taught us? Because my parents used to have conversations where watching Violated, and my mom is like, if anything like this ever happens to any one of you, you say something, you tell me. Do you have plans to bring, because those movies raised us as a generation, and I think it's still needed in this era and time that we're in. Are they coming back? Is there anything?
Bring money.
I mean, well, yes, one is bring money, but I think second, new stories can be told, and the same issues that are addressed can be readdressed for this present time. The stories that we told in the 1990s were from that era. You know, even the resources. Like now, if I'm telling a story like Peggy's in Violated, I would, without trying to be preachy, which is important, you can sell a story without it being, this is how you should do it, is to also introduce the fact that now there's help. There's help. You can go here, there, or anywhere. But those resources did not exist. Sorry, can I see I like to look at who I'm... Those stories did not exist in the 90s. Those resources did not exist in the 1990s. Now, in the 21st century, there's so much more in 2025. So we can tell new stories about the same things that will teach our children, that will entertain as well. And so it's not necessarily bringing back. I would love to, Brenda said it first, bring the money. But we can tell new stories, and we can tell them just as effectively. It's just being, as we have just been talking about, being intentional and taking into consideration so many different things.
Thank you all so much. You've been a wonderful audience. Give yourselves a round of applause. Big thank you to all our panelists, Biodru Stevens, Brett, and Ego Boyo. Thank you.
It is time for you to rise. Abike, Wana, Maunyo, Tokpe, Ijeoma. It is time for you to rise. Akíkanjú ni o, ìwọ iṣẹ́ Olódùmarè ọjọ́ kẹfà. Olúwa kẹ́ ọ títí títí ó fi inú rẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ọmọ. The said women are weak. Yes, it is women who bend pain into power. They said women should follow. Yet, it is women who carve new roads from stone. They said women are emotional. Yet, it is women who turn emotion into art, into justice, into change. The old narrative is crumbling. In its place, a new language of womanhood, not bound by should and must, but rooted in choice and freedom. She is no stereotype. She is story untold. She is fire. She is future. Àsìkò ti tó, àsìkò ti tó, gbogbo obìnrin gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. It is time for us to rise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a fantastic way to round up this. And thank you so much,
we're
Brenda.
Not done.
You're not? Are you for real?
We're not done. No, please.
And no, you need to take pictures as well.
Yes, please come. Let's take pictures.
Thank you so much. Brenda, you're not...
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you can. Just to let you know, we're launching
female representation. Female representation and advocacy in media. We're starting off with a female representation focused lab and incubator. We will be offering grants, learning, and distribution. No round of applause. Wow. Wow.
They're hungry.
Wow, wow, wow. But most importantly, if you face the screen, you'll be able to join the cohort, which is starting on the 16th of November. So it's important that you look at the link, you know, and yeah. So that's it.
For females only?
Female representation.
Okay.
It's important that we understand female representation, not female only.
Okay.
If you are interested in telling properly female represented stories, apply. And if you make the cut, you'll get in.
Fantastic. So, scan it.
Yes. Please scan the
QR code.
The QR code. Me too, I'm hungry. Scan the QR code, you know, for you guys. As I said in the beginning, you know, the survey, we need your response to this particular event, this particular conversation. Tell us what you think. It's important to us as we move forward with the gospel of better female representation.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much to NIFS.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much to Ijoma Honor. Thank you to the panelists, Bjorn Stephen, Ego Boyo. And thank you to the moderator, Wana Odobang.
Thank you.
We'll see you next year.
Thank you again, Brenda. There's Wi-Fi there. Please, you can use the Wi-Fi. Hilton, Honor, and then this password. I think the next is lunch. I can see we're all starving. Can I just give like 3 announcements towards lunch and the next course of events?